A 16-year-old girl in my church was roped by an older man and impregnated, so her parents got the pastor to shame her in front of the entire church for wanting to terminate the pregnancy. Plus update. An 16-year-old girl in my youth group recently became pregnant after being roped by a much older man. Well, this past Sunday, the pastor told us all that someone in the youth had recently become pregnant and needed prayer along with her family. He went on to say that this person had been blessed by God with a baby, and no matter how the baby came to be, it was up to this person to raise the baby in the way of the Lord. While he kept it anonymous, most of the people in our youth group still knew who it was, and this is because her parents told someone that she was contemplating terminating the pregnancy to try and get support for talking her out of it, and she told me this when we messaged a few days ago. When I talked to her, I tried my best to encourage her and say that her parents had no business talking to the church and telling them what should have been kept as a private matter, but she said that she's scared that they won't allow her to have it or may treat her differently if she does, and that they also want her to sit with someone to talk, someone who is a leader in the church. She also said that they keep telling her things about how she lives in their house and other stuff like that, and her dad is also a trustee as well. I told one of my friends from school about what happened, and she said that her parents are probably trying to stall her out of the time frame to have a termination, and I told her that I didn't really know how all of it worked, but that I just wanted to know more, since she felt comfortable enough to open up to me for some reason, but I didn't really know what to say or how to really help. She also said that they're trying to guilt her out of having it too, and that being in that environment with word of mouth isn't healthy for her either. And that what her parents are doing is borderline abusive, telling her she will go to hell if she goes through with the termination. When I talked to my parents about what happened after church, I told them that I didn't think it was proper for the pastor to do that in front of the congregation, but they told me that that's what happens when people sleep around and do things they shouldn't be doing outside of marriage, and even despite knowing the circumstances of her pregnancy they still blamed her for it. They also said that when someone sins and doesn't listen to their parents, then the next step is to go to the church, and I don't even know if I can trust them in the future to not do the same to me and my private information, if they support telling others about things that should be private. And when I told them that that is part of the reason why I never tell them anything, they just yelled at me. I don't know if I can help her, but since she felt comfortable enough to open up to me, I want to be able to be a friend to her at least. Update, the child was eventually born and later an entire mass was dedicated to it on a Sunday in our church, and she told me that her parents were the ones who pushed for it. She began working part-time at 14, and her parents punished her for getting pregnancy by removing her college savings and not even giving it to her. But another frustrating thing was a post her mom made on Facebook shortly after the pregnancy. In her post, she said it was important to teach responsibility in a world that taught girls to do the opposite. She said that termination was the easy way out in the verse about how she and her house would serve the Lord. She also said society taught girls that they can dress like SLTS and be absolved from blame when people treat them accordingly.